Ireland is a land that has it all. Incredible scenery with miles of open spaces that are crisscrossed with ancient tracks and remote wild trails. It's a walker's paradise. It's a land of history, folklore and legends that date back thousands of years, the remains of which are still here in the landscape to be seen and experienced by all. From early monastic settlements to remote scholarly islands, from ancient stone circles to pre-Christian communities. It's a land of writers, musicians and poets, from the wild Atlantic Way to wild landscapes, from the coastal villages and towns that resonate with music and song to the quiet, peaceful trails in the mountain and lakeside areas. Ireland has it all.
As a lover of stories, I like walking in the parts of Ireland that have history that I can see. I'm spending a few days walking in County Offaly. Offaly is often overlooked by walkers, but it's a county that's rich with scenic walks and peaceful trails. Also of old stories and historic buildings, places such as Clonmacnoise that remain untouched on the landscape for hundreds of years. My name is Sinead Moriarty and this is my Tracks and Trails. Offaly can be missed by Irish tourists when it comes to walking and hiking, but it's got magnificent walks, trails, stories and some of Ireland's oldest history, and it's only 60 minutes or so from Dublin. I'm doing 3 routes, a loop around Glinsk Forest near Kinnity, taking a short but fascinating walk to the top of Croghan Hill, where the now famous Croghan Man was found, and finally a 17-kilometre cycle along the Grand Canal Greenway from Ballycommon to Rahan. I'm starting my walk near the village of Kinnity. This is situated in the southern part of Offaly, close to the Laois and Tipperary border. I'm really looking forward to this walk. Apparently it's long but not too challenging, which is music to my ears. I'm definitely going to need a map because I get lost in my own house, and there are lots of different tracks and trails coming off the main trail, so I'm definitely going to need this. I've got my hiking boots on because apparently it's quite muddy. Rain jacket, it's Ireland, you know it's going to be on and off all day. And in my bag I have a spare pair of socks. I've got water and I've got snacks, which I would like to say are healthy, but in fact, they're jelly snakes. But they'll give me energy along the way, so I'm really looking forward to it. Kinnity Castle, as a location, dates back to 350 AD, when the first castle dwelling was built here. The estate, in the shape it is now, dates back to 1650. This entire area is steeped in old Irish history, and the relics and stories are still here to see. Situated at the foothills of the Slieve Bloom Mountains, the Kinnity walks around a picturesque village. Well known to cyclists for decades, it's also home to a wide variety of walking and hiking trails. The start of my walk takes me through a woodland area. This trail intersects with the mountain bike trail here. So walkers, take care. You need to pay attention to the signs when crossing these bike trails. They are, however, well signposted and well differentiated, so it's simply a matter of paying attention. The walks here surround the castle. There are plenty of activities, from walking to cycling to horse riding, so there's something here to suit everyone.
How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Hiya. Somebody flying by me earlier on.
Very good, yeah.
This is a great place to go mountain trailing, is it?
It is. Fantastic. It's brilliant now, yeah. It really is.
Are there loads of different trails?
Huge amount of trails, yeah. Loads of walking tracks as well. They all cross over and, yeah, there's room for everybody.
Really?
The trails are beautifully designed, really flowy, fast, safe. Yeah, I'm really glad I made the trip down today, guys, from Dublin. I'll definitely come again.
Sure.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks. Again, anytime.
Have you much left in your walk?
I'm actually heading to the castle. Which way should I go?
Down the road, down to your
Right.
left.
Around the
Follow it
corner,
straight
you're
down.
nearly there.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet you.
Take
Best
Take
of
care.
luck.
Bye
Bye-bye.
now.
Bye-bye.
When people visit Kinnity, the focus is often on the castle, whereas the walks around the castle are just as interesting. These walks were purpose-built over the last 200 years, many of them designed by the families that lived here, and there is some fascinating history, relics and artefacts left behind to see. I've met up with county architect Rachel McKenna, who's going to walk me through these routes and show me some of these relics.
This looks fantastic now, so tell me more about this cross.
Well, many landowners wanted to embellish their landscape domain, so as well as the walks, they wanted to have interesting features to see along the way. And it was a very popular fashion at the time of embracing items of great antiquity. So they acquired this 9th century cross from a nearby monastic settlement in Drumcullen. Originally, the cross had a ringed top on it, and you can see that's broken at this stage. And then there's a variety of different biblical scenes on both faces of it. So we've a crucifixion, there's Adam and Eve, there's a scene with David, and then there's some wonderful geometric patterns. And there's also an inscription to the King of Meath on the base of the cross. So when you get to here, you can start to see the Camcore River, which is what all of these walks were about, was to try to gain the best out of the river. And they arranged all of these different walks, both alongside it and used the 2 new bridges then to traverse it as well.
Now, tell me about this gorgeous metal bridge. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is one of the bridges that they put in to cross the river and enjoy the different views. This one was built around 1900, and you can see it allows you to look back up the river again, get a great look at the Camcore.
Gorgeous, and it's in amazing condition. How come?
Yeah, it was restored fairly recently in 2021. It was one of 2 bridges that the conservation works carried out. And you can see some of the bracing here, and it again allows these lovely views back down the river.
So beautiful.
Yeah. We'll have a look at some of the works on the other side.
Great.
This is one of 2 suspension bridges actually in the county. The other one is in Birr, a longer bridge than this particular one. This one was restored in 2021, and prior to that you actually couldn't see it. So passers-by who were using the path here weren't aware that it was there because it was totally engulfed with laurels. It was actually built by the Bernard family as well as part of their improvements in the estate around 1840. And that's comparatively early for suspension bridges because the first one wasn't built in America until 1842.
That's incredible. Well, Rachel, that was fantastic. Thanks so much for all the knowledge and the information. It was brilliant.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, I'm going to head off this way.
Okay.
And I think you're going this way to continue.
Right,
your walk.
okay, so I won't get lost.
No,
Thanks a
indeed.
million. Lovely to meet you.
Great.
See you.
All the best. Bye-bye.
I've recently noticed that when I walk, there's often so much more to see than I'm aware of. I'm meeting photographer Paul Moore, who's going to show me an interesting way to slow down and look properly at what's around me.
Paul,
Hi Sinead, how are you? Lovely to meet you.
lovely to meet you too. What am I missing?
Well, I think a lot of people miss a lot when they go for walks in the forest. We tend to come out, a lot of it's just purely for exercise, fresh air, and we walk at a quite nice fast pace through the forest, but there's so many details and so much to see within the forest that we tend to miss. And I think as a photographer, or even if you have a camera with you, it just slows you down that little bit more and just makes you more aware of your surroundings. Now, there's an old saying in photography circles that the best camera is the one that you have with you at any given time.
And we all have our phones, right?
We all have our phones.
Yeah, and for me, I tend to be quite a fast walker, I think this is really good because it'll slow me down, it'll make me stop and really kind of appreciate where I am.
Exactly.
Take a moment.
There's the whole mindfulness aspect to it as well. If you slow down and you're more aware of where you are, the surroundings, you've often seen it with the light shining through leaves on the tree and just that dappled effect.
Dapple.
So
I love the
it's
word dapple, yeah, it's such a good word. Okay, right, Paul, so what do we do here now today? Show me what to do.
I think the best thing we can do is we can just go our separate ways for a couple of minutes and just explore the area that we're in now at the moment, and just what you will see and what I will see are going to be 2 completely different things because everybody has their own interests, everybody has their own point of view.
Okay, be kind now, be kind.
Oh,
Now, there is a lot of moss around, and I wouldn't normally take pictures of it, but I have to say, after talking to Paul, when you do zoom in, it actually looks really nice. It looks really pretty. Who'd have thought? Who would have thought a picture of moss actually looks so good? Be pleased with that. Okay, so I'm just having a look here at my photos, and I know they're not going to win prizes, but one or two now that I'm pretty pleased with. And I have to say, it stopped me focusing on the end of the walk and how fast I was walking, and made me think about the actual walk I was doing. I'm pretty pleased.
Well,
Sinead, how did you find that?
Do you know what? I have to say, it made a big difference, because normally I would just boot through the forest, just get my exercise in, enjoy the view, but be going way too fast. It slowed me down, it slowed down my heartbeat. I stopped thinking about different things and focused in on the micro, as you suggested. And I have to say, I really enjoyed it.
Ultimately, that's what mindfulness is all about. You're in the moment, you're forgetting about your past troubles, what's going to happen in the future, what's going on in the outside world.
Yeah.
And it's just lovely to have that peace for
Yeah.
those few moments that you're here.
With some mementos of my walk in my pocket, I continue. And definitely with some more awareness of what's around me. This trail is only 7 kilometres long, but there's lots of variety. There are woodland tracks, fire roads, and of course, the interesting history. Now, I'm entering a scenic area where the vistas open up. What a view. Ireland's famous for its rolling hills. You can see why. Look at that, spectacular. After a gentle climb, I descend again for the final trek towards the end of my walk. This walk is a loop, so it brings me back to where I started. The whole walk has taken me a few hours. For me, this was the perfect length. Long, but not too long. Challenging, but not too challenging. And it had the variety I like on a walk. Aha, I can see the end now. The end of the walk. 7 kilometres, not too challenging, just the way I like it. A little bit uphill, but all very manageable. It was also made really interesting because I met horse riders, bikers, and I also met Rachel, who gave me great context as regarding the heritage of the area, which always really helps when you're walking, just makes it more interesting. And then I met the lovely Paul, the photographer, who told me just to slow it down and really look around and notice what I'm walking by instead of whizzing by. And I have photos on my phone now because of him, so I have my memories, and it's been altogether a really, really lovely day.
If you enjoy the show, follow us on social and tell us your story. We'd love to hear about your tracks and trails, especially if it's influenced you in any way. Has it got you out walking? What were the benefits? Your feedback could inspire our next show.